YouTube. Today I got Express thought he would never lose by BLTV Extra. By the looks of it, it looked like they finna talk about Roy Jones. And Roy Jones was a beast, man, for real talk. With that being said, though, we finna get right into it.
2002, Roy Jones Jr., recognized by the masses as the pound-for-pound best boxer in the world, issued a direct challenge to the current heavyweight champions.
So is that what you're asking? Yes, I'm ready for whoever want to bring it behind to me. Whenever, whoever, however you want it, you damn right, I want it.
At the time, the Pensacola Speedster was the reigning unified light heavyweight champion, had unparalleled speed and ring IQ, and had demolished all 47 opponents in his career so far.
Yeah, he was a beast.
The only thing left was to conquer the money division at 200 plus pounds, a feat a former middleweight boxer hadn't achieved in over 100 years of the sweet science.
That people think he's gonna kill me. People think ain't no way in the world Roy Jones is big enough to beat my heavyweight. He's too small. And I love to hear people say they think I can't.
Join us today as we revisit, for me personally, one of the saddest and most abrupt endings to a fighter's career, a leap of greatness that fell just short of its destination. Roy Jones Jr. first burst on the scene in 1989, over 30 years ago now, yet his talents and skills were generation.
Jones is outmaneuvers him. In trouble as Ken Zimmer stops the fight. Straight
That was too fast.
Spectacular. Well, Roy told us he would celebrate to the camera, and there it is.
For the first 2 years, Jones campaigned at the light middleweight limit, learning his trade against the hardened veterans of the division. Terrible Terry Norris was the only financially viable champion at 154 during this period, and while it would have made for an intriguing matchup, Jones's body outgrew his division, leading to his first championship bout being staged at middleweight against the future Hall of Fame legend, Bernard Hopkins.
Middleweight champion effortlessly. He's gaining confidence, but maybe he's...
Bernard Hopkins, hey, he was a beast too, though.
B-Hop's ringcraft would serve him well for the remainder of his career, but Jones' extraordinary speed and strength overcame any tricks or traps that the executioner could set.
Roy Jones Jr.
B-Hop was a beast. Hey, what is they playing now? What type of music is this? Woo! Stunting on folks.
When it comes down to showing the world who's the best pound for pound, I had to go out and do my thing.
Jones' path of destruction had begun. Over the next 8 years, he beat every opponent he faced, conquered both super middleweight and light heavyweight, cementing a legacy as the greatest prime fighter since Muhammad Ali.
This means that I am pound for pound the baddest mother you know what to touch a pair of boxing gloves.
By late 2002, with B-Hop, Tony, McCallum, and Virgil Hill already on his resume, Jones' agitation with a lack of credible opponents left to fight became apparent.
And so fans are entitled to ask, if that's true, why is he fighting fighters who on their best night don't have a chance to beat him on his worst night?
Antonio Tarver, one of Roy's rivals from his amateur days,
Man,
the pieces that Jones had left behind.
it was crazy. Man.
Light heavyweight. His confidence was at an all-time high. With a 6'2" frame out of the southpaw stance, it's easy to see.
I remember Antonio Tarver.
And if Roy Jones wanted to prove me differently, then tell him to meet me at the negotiating table.
An all-American light heavyweight unification clash made complete sense. The fans wanted
Man.
it. HBO could have made the deal in an instant. Yet the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world had other ideas and bigger fish to fry.
Antonio Tarver.
Tonight, he attempts to join
That shit off my screen.
elite as he challenges for the heavyweight crown.
In March of 2003, Jones ventured up to the heavyweight division in what he dubbed a one-off event for the fans.
I said I'll fight the heavyweight champ one time. Gerald Reef was available. That's who I'm fighting.
The WBA World Champion John Ruiz was the first to answer the call. Fresh off victories over Kirk Johnson and Evander Holyfield, Ruiz was no pushover during this period.
I don't know if his punching power is going to really carry to the heavyweight division. I think that if he hit John with his best shot, I think Roy might be in for a rude awakening when he sees John look at him and smile and, not feel like anything hit him.
It had been 106 years since the former middleweight title holder Bob Fitzsimmons had conquered the great James J. Corbett for the lineal heavyweight championship. However, Bob had been learning his craft in the division for 2 years prior to his title shot. And, unlike Jones, Fitzsimmons never packed on muscle mass to compete with his peers, instead electing to allow his body to gain 10 or so pounds naturally over time while using the skills to achieve victory. Jones gained 25 pounds of pure muscle in a short space of time, a strategy relatively unquestioned by the experts as it was seen as necessary to compete with a brutish and rough Ruiz.
Johnson, Roy Jones. Roy Jones liked to get in there and land his best shot early so he can make the other guy cautious. Right hand over the top by Jones.
Jones was the betting favorite, albeit by narrow margins, yet the vast gap in skills and speed showed during the opening rounds.
Left in return, and they're fighting in the center of the ring. Big right hand by Jones. Those hurt, watching and waiting for something good to happen. Ooh! He's Ruiz is hurt. He stepped in with that. Ruiz walked into a right hand, and it shook him.
Jones rocked the champ with a rapid-fire right at the end of the fourth. Thereafter, Ruiz entered his shell, doing what he could to survive the rounds as Jones dictated the action, beating the bigger man to jab and landing combinations at will.
No, he whooping that ass.
Drama in watching the smaller man outwit and out-hit the bigger guy.
Meet the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world.
After such a beautiful display, the fans wanted Jones versus either Chris Bird, Evander Holyfield, or Lennox Lewis next. Yet money talks, and there was only one man on Jones's
You want
mind.
to just fight any of the top heavyweights, or do you feel you just want to fight for one big, major, mega-dollar heavyweight?
One $1 million heavyweight. It's me and Mike Tyson. That's all I want. After Mike Tyson, I'm done.
So if you don't get Tyson, you're not going to fight again?
If I don't get Tyson, I'm done.
Contrary to Roy's prior statements, the pound-for-pound King's next move saw him strip all the gained muscle mass as fast as he put it on, venturing back down to light heavyweight to settle the score with his old foe, Antonio Tarver.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Excuse in the world.
He didn't beat nobody to get ranked in the top 10. He didn't beat nobody to beat number one contender.
Now, I can go on and on about the dead men he fought, but he claimed when I was number one, I wasn't worthy.
Tarver, as we mentioned earlier, was cleaning up Roy's leftovers at the 175-pound limit. And during Jones' hiatus from the division, Tarver picked up 2 of his vacated titles.
Jones says Tarver's whole career is about trying to be like me.
Despite both men being age 34
That shit
at the
was
time,
a crazy
Tarver
fight.
didn't turn professional until he was in his 30s and looked the fresher for it during the course of the
That
fight.
can make a difference. Look at Tarver banging away with the left hand and landing them again, this time coming around the guard.
Jones looked a shadow of his former self, allowing Tarver to boss him around the ring and open up flurries on the ropes. Jones had little answer to Tarver's aggression, yet the former champ showed glimpses of his old self at spurts, which, to the bemusement of the crowd, was just enough to earn a widely contested majority decision.
Don't let your
Yeah.
eyes fool you.
Tarver.
Don't listen to these
All right,
commentators. You saw it for yourself. Antonio Tarver beat the man tonight, so that makes me the man.
Even with the win secured on the resume, Roy's status as the pound-for-pound king of all weights started to dwindle, with many fans now hailing the rising star Floyd Mayweather Jr. as the flag-bearer of boxing.
Tale of the tape now for Roy Jones and Antonio Tarver the second time around.
Jones
Yeah, I
looked to
think
set
it
the
was.
record straight in a rematch with Tarver 6
I
months
think it
later.
was this fight
Roy
right
was
here
winning, a
where
fighter
Tarver
winning
knocked
favor,
out
with
Roy.
the only man
And that shit was
generally believing Tarver
crazy.
would win, being Tarver himself.
I got a question. You got any excuses tonight, Roy?
Yeah, it's the fight right here. Ah, that shit was crazy.
You seen that before?
I love it. No, I've never saw it, but I would like to see it more often. And up until the times that Roy would actually go to the ropes, a lot of the first fight was this way. Until Jones would go to the ropes and say, "Come on and throw your punches, Antonio."
And there were boos in the house during
Look at this shit.
The opening round was scored to Jones by all 3 judges, yet a couple of minutes later, it became irrelevant.
with a hard right hand to the body as round 1 comes to a close. To Alton Murchison, Jones nearly craned his head all the way out between the ropes.
He seemed to still be giving Roy problems. Roy has not found a way still to get a sustained attack against him.
Look at that shit. Oh my god. Bro, that shit was crazy. Look at this shit. Oh my god. That shit was crazy. Oh man. Woo! Ass was out. Ew. That shit was crazy.
Tarver earned the Ring Magazine's Knockout of the Year as
Look
a
at shit.
electrifying left hand jerked Jones' head violently and sent him crashing to the canvas. In doing so, he took not only Jones' belts, but his fighting spirit and self-confidence as well.
Because for so long, people say I couldn't, people say I wouldn't, but I never gave up on my dream. I never gave up on myself. I knew that Antonio Tarver was the best fighter in the whole wide world. Pound for pound, baby.
Ooh.
Roy Jones Jr. was never the same again.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro. Hell yeah, dog. Hey. Hey.